Hi, everybody. Dave Stevens for a very special Ability Media cut-in. We've got an interview with somebody you're going to want to hear. This is a national hero that I've got joining me. We've got Cameron Cody and his dad, Randy Cody. And if you're not familiar with their story, Randy's been playing Little League Baseball for a few years with a team of 7 to 10-year-olds. He's 13 years old. He's a great athlete and an inspiration, and he has Down syndrome. A parent thought that wasn't enough to let him play with that level. So we had people saying he couldn't play anymore. It was back and forth, some bureaucracy, some national inattention. But joining me now and a happy ending to this story is Cameron and Randy. And thank you guys for taking some time to talk to us.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
Well, Randy, we saw this story when it first came that we thought his career days were over, but there was such an outpouring, such a national thing that we up here in Connecticut heard about it. Did you believe how big it took off?
Yeah, no, I actually didn't, and it just makes me think, like, if this was 1990, would this have had the same outcome? And the reason I say that, and I say 1990, so before the advent of this age of information and immediate information that you can get across the world, really, I don't know if the same outcome would have occurred, but still, for me to hear that you guys heard about it in Connecticut, and here we are talking to you, it's amazing, the outcry of support that we received for this little guy right here.
And it's such a great story. We at Ability Media, we talk about those that have overcome so much. I'm born without legs. I got to play baseball. Cameron has his normal, and he's getting to play baseball. But the bottom line is, I think, is calmer heads prevailed in the outcome, and there was a happy ending. So if you guys can take us through last night, which you said was, as we talked late last night, was almost a moment out of the natural. If you could just take us through what happened.
Okay. So last night we arrived at the baseball field. And Cameron, as normal, he had his backpack on. He's getting ready for to get out to cages, take batting practice. And as he's walking through the ballpark, there's kids that he doesn't know, and they've never known him before this. And now they obviously know him because they saw him all over different news media outlets and whatnot. And as he's walking through the park, they're chanting his name, Cameron, as he's walking through the park, getting to the cages, and they have patches, iron-on patches that everybody put on their jerseys, these other teams, and they had his name Cody and his number 14 on them, and so that was just getting there. And then once he got to the cages and his team saw him in his return, and we didn't tell his team that he was coming back, they all saw him. They ran up to him, and Cameron put his hands up in the air, and they were so excited to see him. And it was just really I don't know, it was just amazing. It was just so amazing to see the ending to this.
And Cameron, what was it like to get back out and play baseball again?
Baseball, Cameron and Randy first, second, stay home and scored and win.
I'm so glad you're back to playing. And Randy, what's your biggest takeaway from all this? I mean, is it the overwhelming outpouring? Is it like what like, are you just still in kind of just numb of this whole experience?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway would be that there's a bigger story here. There's a bigger need, I guess you would say, and that is, I think it's very important that the process to find exactly where kids with different developmental delays or disabilities, where can they best be inserted in a little league type setting? How do we find that fit for them? What's the process? And I don't even know what the process is. I don't know what the current process is, but if it's just looking at somebody on a piece of paper looking at what his stated age is, looking at what his maybe his disability is or diagnosis, and then somebody in an office making a decision as to where this kid might fit. If that is the process, then I think it's got to change. So, for instance, if next season I submit an age waiver for him to play down again, will he be granted that opportunity, or will he have to go to an age group that's higher than what his real abilities are? And I don't know the answer to that. So I'd like to look into that process just to make sure something like this really doesn't happen to him again, but more importantly, across the country.
Yeah, and as a parent with a child with special needs, you want to give them the most normal life they can, and that's what I've had to battle, and I know you've had to have those battles. And it's like, you shouldn't have to go to a Miracle League or Challenger League if you have skills that could put you with other people. And I think, they label us because they judge us by looking at us. And I think, what you've done as a coach, what you've done for your son, I think what your son has done for people, there are very few feel-good stories right now. And this is such a good ending, and I'm wondering what the future holds for you guys.
Well, we're going to work hard in the off season. And there was actually a retired Major League Baseball player that reached out and saw the story and said that he really wants to work with Cameron in the off season and work with some of the finer points of baseball with him, some of the mechanics. And he believes that if he works hard enough with the right coaching, then maybe he won't even need that age waiver next season. So we're going to put in the hard work, and we'll see where that takes us. But hey, there is no limits. There's no limits for him.
You're right. And Cameron, are you having fun playing baseball?
Yeah.
All right. That's the bottom line, right, Randy?
No doubt. Love
All
seeing.
Right. Nothing like a love of a father for our sons, especially when you go to bat for them like that. So thank you guys for spending some time with us. Best of luck in the future. We will stay in touch because, your story is amazing. And I know there's probably bigger things coming out of the woodworks for you guys that you guys aren't even aware of. So it's great that we have this. And thank you for joining us on Ability Media, Randy.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, Randy and Cameron, Cody, the heroes right now from Florida, just playing baseball just like everybody else. I'm Dave Stevens for Ability Media. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms and visit us at abilitymediagroup.com.